Hi, this is Eric Johnson, and you are listening to the Paulie Z Show.
Yo, 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 welcome back to the Paulie Z Show. It's me, Paulie Z, yeah. And we're on episode number 44. And last week we had a drummer on the show. And Joey, my drummer, always makes fun of me because he's like, why do you got all these drummers on the show? And, I like to mix it up. Just because I'm a singer and a guitar player doesn't mean I'm always going to have singers and guitar players on. So I'll have drummers, I'll have bass players, I'll have a little bit of everything. But today we are going back to my favorite instrument, which is guitar. I'm going to have a guitar player on who's, is not just a guitar player. This guy is a legend, pretty much. And he is, he's done so much stuff. But I guess I would consider him, and I'm sure this is pretty common knowledge, that he's like a guitar virtuoso. He's one of those guys, all right? And, in the same categories as when you think of like the Satrianis and the Steve Vais and Stevie Ray Vaughans, people like that, this is one of those guys. So I'm very excited to have him on because as a guitar player, I can't wait to talk, shoot the shit with him and talk shop. And I'll try my best to keep up with this, with the conversation. I'm not sure if he's as scholarly as Jerry Gaskill was last week. If anyone listened to the episode, we were kind of joking around that Jerry was scholarly and using big words that I didn't understand. So let's hope this week, I'll be able to keep up. Anyway, so my guest today is the one and only Eric Johnson. So, Eric, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm doing great. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
I know we're taking you out of your schedule of practicing for something. You have something coming up that you were telling me off air about.
Right? Oh, I just finished this. I had a lot of fun this last October. I did this solo acoustic tour, solo acoustic guitar and piano, and toured with Peppino D'Agostino and Andy McKee, really fine guitarists. We did like 3 individual sets, and we got together at the end of the night and played, and it went over really well. We just finished a few days ago, and I had like a week off, so I decided just to stay here and get ready for the next tour, which is this Experience Hendrix tour.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about that one.
Yeah, it's something that the Hendrix family does. They do it at least once or twice a year, and they take it all over the place, and they get all these different people to play. So, yeah, usually it's like of all the artists, we go on and play 3-4 songs a piece, and there's usually 10, 15 artists, and it just kind of, it's like a fun night of just people's different interpretations of Jimi Hendrix music.
Did you ever hear the Paul Rogers Hendrix CD?
I did, yeah. That was great, yeah. Yeah. I love Paul Rogers. He's like one of the greatest singers. I was a huge Free fan in the old days.
That's the funny thing, too, is like everybody knows him from Bad Company, and a lot of people don't know Free, but they know the song all right now. You know what I mean? Like they know
absolutely.
The song, but they don't have...
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm about Fire and Ice and Mr. Big.
Oh, man, that's great stuff. And then, they had an album called Highway. I don't know if you remember that album.
I have every one.
Highway was such an interesting album because it didn't go over very well. I mean, it's like people didn't even know about it, but it was just a great record. I mean, it's got some just killer songs.
They're so my hypothesis on this is that they were so bluesy, with the exception of All Right Now. They didn't have like the hooks.
I think you're probably right. They were a little off the cuff there for like mainstream, but man, what a band!
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever worked with him?
I haven't. It's interesting, though. I just finished an electric record about 3 months ago, and it's slated to come out in early December. And I actually had a tune on it that I wanted to get Paul. I was trying to get Paul to sing on it, and I talked to Howard Leese about it because Howard plays with Paul, and he said, okay, I'll get it to him. And I kept working on the tune, and unfortunately, for that, I mean, the tune just turned out to be an instrumental. I couldn't ever get a lyric or a vocal that worked, and I kept trying. It kept sounding kind of like, nah, it's not good. And I didn't want to give Paul something that wasn't great. So I thought, if I ever got a chance to, for him to sing or whatever, work with him, I'd want to put my best foot forward. So I just let it be an instrumental because that's what it wanted to be, and I figured I'll try again some other time. But
you know that Deep Purple, when Ian Gillan left, like Richie Blackmore was like a huge Paul Rogers fan, and he was always. That was always the guy he envisioned in Deep Purple.
Really? I
always.
Didn't know that.
They asked him. I think they asked him twice.
Really?
And he turned them down.
Oh,
yeah.
did it? Yeah.
And that's why they took David Coverdale, because Coverdale was just a nobody. Like, he sent in a tape. But if you remember, do you remember the Coverdale Deep Purple records?
Mm-hmm.
his voice, if you really listen to him, I mean, in the 80s it got, changed a little bit,
Right.
but he sounded like Paul. He still,
Yeah.
like, if you really
Interesting.
think about it, he had that, like, low, bluesy
Yeah.
rasp, and that's why he picked him.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he sounded like Paul Rogers.
I did some gigs with Paul. It's been a few years, but we opened for him, and he came out on stage and did his thing, and he started, turning the mic stand upside down and start singing. I mean, within 5 minutes of concert, I was outside. I was out in front in the crowd, like, yeah, like just total fan. I mean, it's like you can't avoid it. I mean, it's just, and he still has that voice.
Yeah.
He still just got it. He's great.
That's what I love about him too, because he still has it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Glenn Hughes? You know who that is?
Yeah, from Trapeze.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
see, from Trapeze. That's a
Yeah.
man who
Yeah.
knows his stuff. Free and Trapeze, not
Yeah.
Bad Company and Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Everyone knows him from Deep Purple.
I guess I'm giving my age away here, 'cause
What?
we
No,
start
what?
talking about,
I know.
But I mean, I guess you're in
Yeah,
that.
well, I'm only 17 and I know
Yeah.
that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned 17, yeah.
Right. Oh,
the other
okay.
day. Yeah. Well, what are you, like 20,
31.
31? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Give or take 20 years,
no one knows.
Yeah.
They can't see us. We can
Yeah,
say
really,
whatever we
really.
want. No, but it's amazing. I love that, that because when I say Glenn Hughes, they're like, oh, wasn't that guy from Deep Purple? And I was
Right.
like, but,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, he's the guy from Trapeze.
Yeah.
What a voice, though. What a voice.
Amazing. Yeah. Great guys. Yeah.
Well, I'm a singer guitar player, so that's why I have the love for both. So as a guitar player, though, I'm wowed by the stuff that you do. I can't even come close to that. I'm a little bit more. So I grew up as a Kiss fan, so I was the Ace Frehley was my guy.
Sure. Yeah.
And that the Les Paul kind of the Ace Frehley, Jimmy Page / old pentatonic sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm more on the simpler but tasteful. That's what I kind of
that's
say.
it. Yeah.
That's what I do. But when I listen to the kind of stuff you do, I'm like, wow, it's like, how do you make it sing? It's like you're making love to the guitar. Yeah, that's how I am when I eat. I make
Okay.
love to the ribs.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The way you are with the Strat, that's how I am with a Delmonico steak. But
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. All right.
what would you attribute that to? Would you say, I mean, obviously practice. Take practice out of it, time. Because no matter how much I practice, let's say playing basketball, I'll never be Michael Jordan.
Right.
There's a certain thing that the guy has that other people don't. What would you say? Would it be the finger?
Well, you know
It's in the
what I
fingers?
think. I think what it is to me what it is you have to create a vision in your head. If you create somewhere you want to go, then what you have to do is just remove the obstacles that keep you from getting there.
That's the practice then.
That's the practice,
Okay.
and that's the discerning ear to go. Well, if you get a mere kind of a sort of a sloppy vision of what you have in your head, and you can go, oh yeah, okay, great, let's move on to the next one. You can go, no, that's not it. I've got a thing I want to achieve. And the whole time you have to stay a little bit malleable and kind of open to letting that thing change. But still, it's a starting point. You have a vision. I think that's really essential, and I think that goes a long way with anybody. I think it's more important than talent because I don't, like with me, if I don't practice or I don't have that vision, I'm not very consistent in my playing. I can play pretty mediocre very easily. But if I have a vision of where I'm trying to go and then I work at it, I just try to remove the obstacles in the way.
I like the fact that you said that because that's something that I wrestle with is the idea of vision is more important than talent.
Absolutely.
And
Because
it's
if
true.
you have that, then you know where you're going. I thought it was cool when when Michelangelo did the statue of David, and he did it out of one piece of marble, and everybody's like, how on earth did you do this? They asked him, and it's a famous quote. He said, well, it was already inside there. All I did was remove the stone that was in the way.
Wow.
And it's kind of cool. I mean, I think there's a lot of weight to that, as far as, well, if we can dream it, we can actualize it,
But the vision, because the reason I say that quote resonates with me is that, there's so many great singers out there, technically, or great guitar players or great musician, whatever, that don't necessarily speak to the people. They don't have anything to say. They're great at what they do on the technical side.
Right, yeah.
But that's the thing. And then you see bands like, I always use Kurt Cobain's a great example. It's not a technical guy. It's not
Great,
someone you would,
but he
but he's
was
not someone who's going to sing the national anthem, which I did.
No, but you're
I did three
right.
times this year, by the way.
Oh,
But but he's not someone who's going to do that.
yeah.
Or the Ramones aren't someone that's going to recreate like a Mozart piece or something.
Right.
I mean, but their vision spoke to the people.
Absolutely. I was at Robin Guthrie from a band a long time ago. I think it was his name. He's that way. Brian Jones was that way. Great guitar player. George Harrison, a great guitar player. Billy from Green Day is a great guitar player. That guy in Tallest Man on Earth, the folk guy. He's a great guitar player. And they're exactly what you're talking about. They're great players, but their criteria for being great is totally different. It's inside the song,
Right. It's
So
not how fast they can go, and
No.
it's not how many, what notes they can hit.
But if you study it or listen to it, you go, you can't just grab somebody off the street to play those parts.
Exactly.
There's a lot to it. Paul Kossoff was that way too. I mean,
Kossoff,
he had a
that
lot of
vibrato?
taste. That's a really musical type contribution, when it just really, you use it to befit the song, and ultimately, no matter how, even if you play real, you have these flamboyant things or what, I mean, it's still, at the end of the day, it's got to fit the song, or it is gratuitous, and it's
self-satisfying, becomes self-indulgent. That's what it is. I think that's what people got. And I'd love to ask you about this because I introed you as sort of a guitar virtuoso, I mean, that's how when I think of Eric Johnson, I think of those guys, guitar guy. And a lot of times could be, I guess those kind of players can be very self-indulgent. How do you
absolutely.
How do you stop yourself from that?
Well, I mean, I think in all honesty, I think I've gotten into veins of being self-indulgent a lot, and the irony is, if I listen to live tapes of that, I want to listen to it for about 30 seconds and turn it off. I mean, I'm not, you know what I mean? It's like, or maybe 5 minutes, but it has a short attention span, and I've always tried to stay out of that, but I think I've fallen into it sometimes. But
do you think maybe being in a band, because you were also obviously in a couple of bands earlier on, right?
Yeah.
Like, was it Electromagnetics?
Electromagnetics, yeah.
Right. And what was the other band?
Well, I was Mariani was when I was originally in Electromagnets, and then kind of just did my different versions of my own thing from then. I played with Cat Stevens for a while and Carole King and stuff. And
was that session stuff or live too?
well,
I know you
with
did
Carole it was live. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was
and
all
records,
session.
but the Cat Stevens was session stuff.
But like being in a band, I mean, like, do you see how do you notice the difference about like if you're the guitarist in a group, the way like Jimmy Page was in Zeppelin, it wasn't the Jimmy Page project.
Absolutely, yeah.
As opposed to that, do you
there's
see
a check and balance there. I mean, you have people giving feedback, and there's people kind of editing each other in a good way.
Right.
That's really good. That's essential. And if you don't have that, you at least need somebody to give you some kind of sounding board thing. And to be honest with you, otherwise you'd just be kind of out, in reckless abandoned land or something. But I think the really important thing, I mean, what's kind of saved me, what's kind of helped me always get back to the balance point is just because I in the back of my head, it's always about the song. I have to write a song. So I've always tried, for better or worse, or whether I succeed or fail, it's always been my thing is always I got to write songs. I don't want to have like a generic just foggy thing that just has me playing guitar. I mean, to me, if it doesn't interest me really to do, even if I come up with some good guitar stuff. But I think it has to have some kind of melody or some kind of song thing to it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's definitely the key to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, if you were in a band though, like now, or if you could pick any band that has been or is now currently, what band would you want to be the guitar player in? If you could replace someone.
God, I don't know. I mean,
whoa, you weren't prepared for such professional questioning, were you, Eric?
Well, I'll start with Paul Rogers. That'd be great.
Which one would you want to be in Free or in Bad Company?
I'd probably rather be in Free, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I love John Bonham's playing on drums. So John Bonham had a swing to his playing. He's a killer rock drummer, but I don't know if few people know what the breadth of his playing. You know what I mean? I mean, he could play any kind of style of drum, so I wouldn't mind. I mean, but he had a great groove, great rock drummer, but he also played all this other stuff. And because he could play this other stuff, he didn't necessarily do it, but it affected his attitude as he did
It
the
came
other
out.
thing.
It was peppered in there. He was listening to jazz drummers.
That's
Krupa
perfectly
and all
said.
that.
It's peppered in there. There's a certain swing.
You see that, Alex? Perfectly said.
Yeah.
Okay? Perfectly.
It's a food reference.
Yeah, right. No wonder.
It's seasoned in like curry.
That's why I loved Mitch Mitchell so much, because he had a swing to his
Yeah.
playing. There was a swing like in jazz music, and that just lifts it into a whole nother type of vibe, you know, in rock and roll.
Ian Pace, too.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
Ian Pace. Very underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in this country.
Yeah.
Outside America, it's a different story with Deep Purple. But it's a shame because that band is one of those bands that should be as big as Zeppelin here.
Oh yeah.
And they just don't get that credit. But Ian Pace had the same thing, and they all were listening to those jazz guys. That's why. And the problem is when you think of the '80s drummer, or you know, the more modern drummers or the drummers from the '80s, '90s, they were listening to Zeppelin and Deep Purple and Jimi Hendrix, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But that was their beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the problem. So now, 10 years from now, or whatever, or the bands now are listening to, you know, maybe listening to Stone Temple Pilots or Soundgarden as their influence or whatever.
Exactly.
But that's their beginning.
Yeah.
They don't go back and find out. Like, I remember when I first realized, like, bands like Zeppelin, you know, for example, and then I realized what they were listening to, like that, you know, Celtic folk. And you go back and you go back and you go back, and then you start saying, oh, that's how he got the idea for that little Dancing Days thing. Or
right.
that's why Bonham's doing the little shuffle.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did you go back? How far back did you go, would you say, as a guitar player?
Well, I've listened to a lot of the stuff where, you know, I've listened to B.B. King, Albert King, and Howlin' Wolf, and
You like Buddy Guy?
Buddy Guy.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, it's great
love
stuff.
Buddy
And
Guy.
then I studied some of the early, you know, Django Reinhardt, Lonnie Johnson, Charlie Christian, all those, the really early players, Les Paul.
So you did. So you went back.
Yeah, I just kind of like music. I've never really I've always liked all styles of music, because there's always something you can pick out of any style of music, even if it's not a type of music you typically listen to or want to play. There's still something there you can get.
Yeah, of
you know?
course. Those make for the best musicians, though. People that open themselves up
I
because they
think
take
so. Yeah.
pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
So so we're putting together now your ideal
Probably
band.
get James Jamerson on bass.
Okay, James Jameson's going to be a bass player?
Yeah.
Who's your drummer? John?
Sure, why not?
All right, so you got Bonham on drums.
Paul Rogers.
Paul Rogers, I knew that was coming. And if Paul Rogers can't make it, then me, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm just saying. You know,
Okay.
if someone accidentally cuts his brake line, you know, and he doesn't make it to the show, I'll be there. Would you have a second guitar player? Ooh.
Man. I have to think about it. I mean, there's all sorts of people I love. But,
yeah, but taking up that frequency, I mean, do you really want to share that frequency with anyone else? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I might go with maybe a keyboard player. I don't know, but
John Lord?
Who would that be? God,
Stevie Winwood?
How about Stevie Wonder?
Stevie. Oh! Nice. I was close. I said Stevie Winwood. It was almost. I was
guess
very
at
close.
the end, and then I'll also add that they don't have to use my name at all, and I'll do it for free in this band. They call it one of those guys can. Well, they can call it
the EJ experience.
They can call it the James Stevie Paul group.
No,
and,
call Edge, like Eric Johnson. EJ would be like.
Oh,
Edge.
Edge.
I don't know.
That's great. I had a girlfriend who called me that once. Edge or something.
See?
Like that, yeah.
Very good. See, I could have been your girlfriend in a past life. Who knows?
Well.
So, yeah, let's hold on quickly before this train wrecks. Let's go back into our normal conversation. So I want to ask you, as a guitar. Now, this is like music lingo. So for all you people out there that don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up in a dictionary. All right, so you understand. I want to ask you about modes and scales. If you had to pick one mode or scale, which it's basically the same thing. So which one would you pick? Like if you had to stay with that for, let's say, an entire show or record?
Probably.
Or write a
Well,
record?
the rock thing is the pentatonic scale.
Now,
And I use
take
that
the
a whole lot.
pentatonic out.
Oh, take it out.
Take it out.
Man, I don't know the names of all the others. I've kind of played by ear, so I don't really know.
Oh, you don't know the names?
The more
of
I
them?
think about what I'm doing, the worse it gets. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you knew.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That was my climax question.
Oh yeah.
You don't know any of them, like Mixolydian?
Well, I know what they're called.
But when you play them, you don't realize that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't.
Like Frampton, like you're a Humble Pie guy. Okay, so Frampton played a lot in Mixolydian.
Okay.
Which again, I didn't know. When I'm learning, I didn't realize until my brother taught me. He went to music school, so he's like the smarter one in the family. And I'm the good-looking one. He's the smart one. And he would show me like Dorian, Ionian, Lydian, mix all that, and I didn't understand. And then when I started learning, I put the two and two together. I said, "That's why it sounds like that."
Oh, okay.
Like, why does Frampton sound so different? It's like happy, but it's not a major happy. It's not like a cheesy happy.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure I've heard it in your playing. So you don't even realize you're going into it.
Well, I know like when they're major scales and when they're minor or when and I know like the intervals like thirds and sixths and sevenths and flat five and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know what you call the scales per se. Not real sure.
Really? Yeah. Oh, so that. All right. Damn it. That ruins my question. All right. Well, then let's go. Let's replace that question with a different question. What groupie would you go for? Blonde, brunette, or redhead?
I would go for
if they all equal on as far as hotness.
Oh, well, I don't know. Yeah. I'm really in love with my girlfriend now, so I probably wouldn't go for
no.
any
Hypothetically,
of them.
hypothetically.
I can't even think hypothetically.
Back in the day when you were single, well, did you enjoy? I mean, were you one of these guys that were like had a high school sweetheart, or you were married throughout your career, or did you have a nice Caligula phase where you just going
I
nuts
never
on
was.
people?
I mean, I kind of ran around a little bit when I was younger, but I mean, usually I just had a relationship, had a girlfriend
most of the time.
Whatever. Yeah, most of the time.
Well, then let's focus on the time when you ran around. So when you were running around, when was that?
Oh, back when I was in, I guess early 20s. I guess
So what were you? Was that the Electromagnets or after that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So G3 when you were with.
Oh yeah, that's in like 10 years ago, 15 years. I was married then.
You were married during
Yeah,
G3.
yeah.
Okay. And then when Cliffs of Dover and all that stuff happened, the Grammy, and I mean, you were married?
No, that was before I was married.
That was before you were married?
Yeah.
So now, okay, so let's, okay.
But I had a girlfriend then.
You had a girlfriend. Oh, damn it. Damn it. I want to hear like, I won the Grammy, and then, I came out the next day I had Penthouse Playmates.
No. I mean, my thing's pretty boring, really. I don't drink or do drugs. I mean, I had a period.
Don't do that.
I had a period where I was into that when I was a teenager. I was experimenting with all that stuff, but pretty much got uninterested in that and just kind of So my big thing after the gig is if I really want to be edgy, I'll like after the show I'll have like a Pellegrino in a dirty glass or something. That's like I know it's severe. It's really severe. It's bad. I mean, living on the edge, baby.
Living on the edge.
Yeah.
Is that the epitome of your wildness? Come on.
Oh,
there's got to be something.
I mean, look, heroin now and then, but that's different.
Well, there you go. All right, that's something.
That's okay.
That's okay.
As long as it's organic.
Medicinal. Yeah,
it's organic.
Well, Trader Joe's, they got organic heroin, I think. So, all right. Well, then we won't delve too much more into that because that's what I always like to get into. You know what I mean? Because I'm in it. You know what I mean? I'm in it.
Okay.
This is my world. I don't.
Thing?
Well, I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs.
Right.
I told you I like girls and food. Those are my things.
Those are your things.
So So I have my own edginess, but I digress.
Okay.
So now then let's talk about food, okay? Because that's the other thing that I love, probably just as much as anything else in this world. And I'm always very curious because when I listen to interviews with people, they talk about the new record, they talk about the new tour, and I'm like, I don't really care.
Yeah,
No
really?
offense,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to know about, personal stuff. I want to know about what makes, the human side of the person.
Yeah.
So what do you like to eat? What's your like?
Well, I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
So that limits it a lot there.
But that's okay. I had Corey Feldman on. I don't remember. It was a while back. He was on the show, and he's a vegetarian. He told me about a whole vast, array of things that you can eat as a vegetarian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things that I didn't even know about.
Yeah, I like to eat raw food sometimes, but not totally. And I love Indian food, and
So you don't even do fish?
No fish.
Okay,
No.
so no.
I
Okay.
don't do eggs either.
So,
But I
but
do.
you're not vegan?
I do a little cheese and milk now and then, like if it's in the food, I don't mind. Or
Okay.
sometimes I get a thing where I have to go eat Mexican food and eat like cheese enchiladas and stuff. But I typically just like to eat real simple, straight ahead, really wholesome food. Just for me, it's there'd be like other things I could entertain to eat, but the thing is with that, it's great in the moment, but after you eat, you don't feel as good. Like I like food to where it's really delectable and it's real nourishing and satisfying to the body, but for hours after it, you feel replenished.
Well, that would
You know what I mean?
explain your love life too. Why
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
wholesome.
Well,
because those girls after the shows are kind of like picking out on ribs and pastrami.
Well,
It's the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It feels great when you're doing it.
Yeah, right.
So well, yeah, all right. Well, at least you're consistent in how you treat yourself and your
Yeah.
body. So what would be in vegetarian land? Because I have a lot of listeners that listen to the show. There's about 7 or 8 of them now, right? We're up to about 8 listeners. Some of them are vegetarians.
Yeah.
What would be what's your main guilty pleasure in that realm? Like, what do you just love to
Oh man.
go crazy on?
Yeah, I don't know. Just
Brussels
like,
sprouts?
Yeah, I like that actually. I like stuff like kale and collard greens and cornbread and beans and rice, millet, tempeh,
Quinoa?
quinoa.
I just got into
couscous.
I just got into quinoa, dude.
It's
That's
great.
good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's and if somebody prepares something with a good vibe, that permeates the food. And I really believe that people's energy goes into what they do. Just like when we walk on stage with our guitar, that permeates to the audience. Similarly with food. That's why you ever notice, every once in a while, you ever notice if you finish a dinner and you've got this buzz.
Yeah.
Different than other times. Like sometimes like, wow, I just feel really great. I feel like, whoa. I think it's people's energy as they prepare the food.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's why cooking is an art in itself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can take. I mean, if you took a dish and had 10 people prepare the same dish with the same ingredients, it's going to be totally different.
Absolutely.
Totally
yeah.
different. It's a feel thing. That's why
Yeah.
I love and respect it, because it's an art form.
Yeah.
But I mean, all right, quinoa and kale, come on, that's good stuff. I'm talking about, but what's your there's got to be a treat that you like, a dessert, even if it's not a dessert per se, but is there something that's just like, this is my guilty pleasure that if I'm just going to be bad a little bit?
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I had cupcakes last night. They were rocking,
There you go.
I'll do that every once in a while, or, pies or whatever, or homemade ice cream or.
So you'll do
Yeah, a
that.
little
So
bit.
it's not vegan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But are these
Yeah.
is this like kale flavored ice cream or it's just regular ice cream?
Brussels sprout flavor.
Brussels sprout.
Yeah.
Who makes that?
I don't know about kale. That's a little gnarly. But
Does Edie's
you
do
put
it
a
or
few
Brian?
Brussels sprouts on top of a cake and you're there.
Dude,
That's great.
Me and you, let's start right now. I'll call
Okay.
Corey. All right, he could be our financial backer.
I don't know if that's going to go over very well. But candy flavored Brussels sprouts.
No,
It might be the only
ice
way you
cream.
get certain people to eat them.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
like,
For kids, you
don't
get
tell them
Brussels-
what's inside. Just
Right.
look at the candy.
Make a Brussels sprout. We'll give them like a cartoon with eyes and stuff like
There you
that.
go,
It'll
yeah.
be like quinoa cakes and
Wow.
Brussels sprout ice cream and
Yeah.
no,
Wow, let's try it.
why not?
You never
What do we
know.
have to
It might
lose?
work. It might
At the
work.
very least, yeah. What now? How we just got to figure out the percentages, since it's my idea, so I get the lion's share of the percentage.
Yeah.
You'll be
Well,
the face of it.
Okay. All right.
You'll be the
okay.
face, and you
all
can
right.
write the theme song.
Okay.
All right, a little instrumental kind of
Okay.
organic junk food.
So we're talking 51, 30, 49 here, or 70, 30, or.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was more like in that. More, it's like 80 some 80.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay.
We'll talk. We'll
We'll
talk.
talk. Okay. Okay.
So, all right. So now one more question. If you had to tell someone, I always like to know like a specific place to go. What's like your favorite restaurant to go? It could be anywhere. What's like the place, and
I don't
what do
know.
you order there?
Angelica's Kitchen's pretty happening.
Here in New York?
Yeah, that's one of the best. And their soups are unbelievable.
Where's that?
It's down on, is it 12th, 13th, 12th, something like that? Yeah. Good place.
And what do you get there? What should
Oh,
someone
man.
who wanted to go and have the Eric Johnson experience?
Oh, well, yeah,
what
I
would they
don't know. I've sampled the multiple times I've been there. I've tried something different every time, and it's been just really great. I think we had like this tempeh, braised tempeh and lemon sauce a couple nights ago with lima bean soup and like kale around it. It was pretty happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then their cookies are great. So it had
This guy's got a
had
sweet
a
tooth.
walnut, some kind of walnut cookie or something. But there's just pages and pages of stuff there. It's really hard to decide. Anything you get is great. But
Is that a vegetarian
Yeah,
restaurant? It is.
yeah.
Okay, so everything is
you
vegetarian.
won't be going there tonight, will you? Probably.
I
You're not going to rush
okay,
there, are you?
Hold on a second. Wait a sec. Just because I am an avid carnivore doesn't mean that I won't. I've been to.
Actually, if you went there, you'd like it. I mean, it's that good.
I might have
think
been
meat
there.
eaters would like it.
I
Yeah.
went to a place. I just don't remember. I was telling you before. I went to a place because one of my best friends is vegetarian, and he takes me like for my birthday. He takes me out, and for his birthday, I take him out.
Oh,
It's like because otherwise we're so busy we never see each other. So that's like our tradition. And I always tell him take me to cool new places because I love trying new stuff. Because it's like you listening to new music or whatever.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he took me to a place. It might have been that place because I remember everything was like tempeh and soy and tofu and this, but it kind of looked like it was chicken.
Right, yeah.
Like they
yeah.
make it as if it was. It was like tempeh and broccoli.
Right, yeah.
So and I actually liked it. It was really good. It was just it's like a mental thing. I had to just kind of
right,
let
make
go.
a switch, yeah.
Yeah, but it was
Yeah.
good because they put, you know what it is? I find that they have to rely on other flavors like the spices, and the way they cook it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
things taste different. Like with meat, like a burger. Yeah, you have to salt, pepper, garlic, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the meat is the main flavor. But when you got something that like a tofu thing or whatever, or quinoa, let's say quinoa, right? It's what you put in it. Do you put
Exactly.
onions? Do you put a little
Yeah.
curry? Do you put a little dill? Do you put a little? And I find like they have to be more creative.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was kind of interesting because my tongue was like, "What's going on right now?"
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. That's a good place. I heard a place called Quintessence is good. I haven't been there, but
In the city.
somebody's told me about that. Yeah.
Have you always been vegetarian, or is it something
I
that
have for a long time, 30-something years.
Oh, so
Yeah.
your whole life.
Pretty much. Yeah, right. Yeah. Even before I was born.
Before he was born, in his past life, he was a vegetarian.
Mhm.
All right. Well, so you're going out on the road with the Hendrix Experience.
Yeah.
How many dates is that?
It's 3.5 weeks. It's until the end of November. It starts on 25 of October, I think.
In the States?
Yeah, and Canada.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Are you doing any New York dates?
Yeah, Beacon Theater. I think it's 10th or 11th. Can't remember. Of November.
Of November.
Yeah.
Oh, coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so then, yeah, I'd love to. Well, we'll talk. I mean, I don't know if you
That'd be
have
great.
comps or not. I'm sure it'll be tight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
you're
you
welcome.
have, I would love to check it out.
Okay.
Like I said, if you need me to sing or anything,
Oh, all
I'm
right.
here.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
I'll forward you the link of me doing the national anthem.
All
wink,
right.
wink.
Okay. All right.
And is there anything you would like to plug as far as websites, Twitters, Facebooks? I don't know if you.
Oh, just
over there?
yeah, I do. Just have a new electric record coming out in a couple months. So I'm hoping people can check that out. It's called Up Close. So
Just instrumental, or is
no,
there
it's
singing
about
too?
half vocal, half instrumental, and had some guests come out and sing on it. and
Can you
stuff.
say who, or is it secret?
Steve Miller sang on it, and Johnny Lang sang on it. And,
Really?
Yeah, and had a couple of guitar players come out, and Sonny Landers played on it, and Jimmy Vaughn. We had some fun. It was cool getting other people in.
We gotta
Yeah.
hook him up with Paul Rogers.
All right.
We gotta.
yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
If I hook you up with Paul Rogers, would you put me on one of your records?
Sure.
Is that a deal?
Yeah. that's a
Shake
deal.
on it.
Okay.
Ah!
Okay. All right.
He shook on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on it. He'll put me on the record, but that's like, but I'm on the record.
Play cowbell, right?
I'll play cowbell. It's like, hey, the cowbell's the main instrument in all right now. Are you crazy?
Oh, that's true. That's right.
That's the thing. Although I
Yeah.
believe that's the click. I think they left the click in.
You think? Yeah.
Do you ever listen to it? Sounds like a click. It's not a. I don't know if that was. I feel like it was a
It
mistake.
could be. Well, it could be. Yeah.
Listen
Whatever
to it
is.
again.
Yeah. Well, I'll check that out. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
When I hear it, it sounds. Just listen to it real close, and it doesn't sound like it's meant to be. It sounds
really?
like
Uh-huh.
it sounds like the click track, and then they
Uh-huh.
either just left it by accident, or they just said, "Yeah, fuck it, let's just leave it."
Yeah. Just let it be.
So,
Well,
all right,
interesting.
bro.
Well,
I
thank
know
you.
you have to go practice the Hendrix stuff.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Can you tell us which songs you're doing, or is that secret?
This tour I'm going to do House Burning Down
Okay.
and a song off Cry Love called Drifting, and then Burning of the Midnight Lamp, and then Are You Experienced?
Very nice. All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Eric
Thanks for having
Johnson.
me.
Yeah. All right, dude. So I'll good luck. We'll keep in
you.
touch, and
Yeah.
thanks for being on the show. All right, Eric Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. So, I don't think if I practice every day for the rest of my life, I'll ever be half as good as that guy. But that's okay. See, I rely on other things like my good looks, my charm, my hair, my that's about it. So, all right, I'm going to do some Yo Paulie because I know it's always something that I try to get to, and I apologize that I don't always get a chance to get to it. But these guests are so interesting, and I want to talk to them forever. So it's hard to make time to do it. But today we have some time left, so I'm going to get right to it. So here we go. Okay, so the first Yo Paulie comes from David Konka. I think I'm saying it right. Konka? Konka? David Konka. Okay, this one looks a little long, so let me try to paraphrase it. Let me see. I haven't read these yet. So, yo, Paulie. All right, I like the way this starts. That's the way to start the emails, folks. Okay, big fan of your music, show, and podcast. I'm proof that the show was good for your music career, as once I saw your show, I was quickly a fan of the band. I did a pretty good job of turning a bunch of friends and family onto you. You can actually thank TiVo, which recorded an episode with its suggestions feature. Nice. And the result was me buying everything you guys put out. Wow, let's find. That's the first time I ever heard that. Because I don't think I use the suggestions features, but I think my dad does. And that's pretty cool. It's just like if you like this, then you like that. And I've bought a lot of music like that actually through Amazon. I find that that's very helpful because I see bands and I'm like, oh, this band might be cool too, and I try that out. So I'm so glad that it worked out that way. That's very cool. All right, so then he goes on to say, about food, if you're ever stuck in Jersey City, I suggest going to Original White Mana. They make slider-style burgers and other things like buffalo chicken strips. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I went to Peter Luger's right before I found your podcast and learned how much you like that place. My boy Steve suggested we go there, celebrate his job, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. However, we can't rock, so we have to go do stupid jobs. Okay, I'm just looking. Where's the food? Get to the food. Okay, I must say, though, I thought the steak was just okay. Wow. The fresh-cut french fries were unbelievable, but the steak did not blow me away. Huh. Maybe I messed up by getting the steak for one. Yes, see, well, first of all, that's right there. You messed up because the steak for one is actually not, I don't believe it's a porterhouse. I think it's a strip, just a strip. In order to get the porterhouse with the filet part, which is the best part, you got to get the steak for two at least. But I was not close enough with the other dudes to share a steak with them. So, well, there you go. And then you got to go back and you got to try it the right way. Any case, we're going back soon, and I will get a steak for two and try to put it down myself. I was wondering if you would care to join us. Hell yeah. I would pay, of course, for you and a guest. I totally don't mind since you're such a big TV and rock star. And maybe you can convince me that it is the best steak ever I had. Hope to hear from you. Good luck with the podcast, or good work with the podcast. All right. Well, listen, I don't know, man. This could be a new thing. If anybody wants to treat me to steak, just for, why not, right? Like, what I get a free meal out of it, and they get free company with royalty. That's pretty cool. No? Alex is shaking his head like I'm I'm on planet narcissism. All right. Well, listen, it's not my fault. He offered it, so don't yell at me. Maybe I will take him up on that offer. Why not? Okay, let's see. Let's keep going. Okay, this one is from John. It just says John. Okay. I recently found the podcast and love it. I deliver mail in the ghetto, and I needs my entertainment. Okay. Anyway, I got the Preston and Steve radio show podcast in Philly, and now I have you to back it up. I just saw you guys when you came to Pittsburgh. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's keep going. You mentioned in the podcast that you drink a lot of water for your voice, but have you ever tried these things called Vocal Zone? Tom Jones swears by them. I ordered some. They're only sold in the UK, and they're intense. Menthol, licorice, and other English people elixirs. Give them a try. I heard of it. I think I might have tried it. I have tried. I haven't bought them, but another friend of mine who was a singer, gave it to me one time. And I tried it, and yeah, that stuff's all good. I think it's all sort of the same. I'm not an expert on it, but like when it comes to Ricola or Secrets or Clariceptic, like any of those things that have like those ingredients in them, I think they kind of do the same thing. They're like they soothe your throat and they do whatever they do. So I don't know that Vocal Zone is any better, but listen, it's possible. Those English people are very smart. You know what I mean? They're very, very bright. So maybe they know something that we don't over here. Let's see. And then he goes on to say, see you next time you come to Pittsburgh. We'll go to Primanti Brothers for the signature Pittsburgh sandwich. It's some meat, french fries, coleslaw between two slices of bread served up with angioplasty. Ha ha ha. I got to be honest with you, not to diss anyone, but I'm not into that kind of sandwich. I'm really not. I'm not into this whole Primanti Brothers thing. I had it. We were in... No, we weren't in Pittsburgh. Shut up. I think we were in Chicago, and there was a place that had a sandwich like that. Did it stop me if I already told this story? I don't remember. I told this story.
Too many carbs.
All right. All right. I told the story already. But for those that maybe are just hearing the podcast for the first time, I'll do the abridged version. I can't stand the sandwich because to me, it's a carb sandwich. It's basically, I don't want French fries, and it's stupid to me. No, you know what? I'm not going to say stupid. I don't want to insult anybody. It's not stupid. It's just not my thing. I shouldn't say it's stupid because there's things that I like that probably other people think that's stupid. But it's just not my thing. I don't want my fries on my sandwich. I don't put chips on my sandwich. Frankly, I don't even want bread with my sandwich. It's just a waste of carbs for me. It's like I'm about meat. Like that's why I love Katz's when you get the pastrami sandwich. It's all meat. The bread is just like bookends. You know what I mean? When I have my books on my shelf or whatever, I don't care what the bookends look like. I care about the books. Even the cover of the book, I don't care. It's what's inside the book. So that's kind of how I feel. The bread is just something to hold the meat together. That's my thing. That's why I generally don't order sandwiches when I go out, unless it's a specialty. But I'm not into that thing. So if we go and you want to treat me, since this is going to be my new thing where people can treat me to food, you can get the sandwich, and then I'll just order a porterhouse. All right. This is from Michael Manning. Ooh, any relation to Eli? Oh, maybe I get some tickets here. Hey, Paulie. Well, this is not too long. Let's see if I can get through this. This was the first episode of your podcast I have listened to, and I loved it. I have pretty much loved everything you have done since a friend convinced me to watch Z-Rock. I own all of the ZO2 CDs and love them. And did I mention I love Z-Rock? Got both seasons, and I've watched it twice. Anyway, let me take my lips off your ass now. I just wanted to point out the band Golden Earring, who do Radar Love, Twilight Zone. Anyway, the 4 current band members have been together since 1968. Oh, I know what he's referring to when we were talking about how many bands can we name that have been together, since the beginning. And ZZ Top is the only band that I can think of. So, wait, so 1968, the band has been recording since 1965. Rush's record is pretty amazing, and I do love Rush, but GE have them beat by at least 4 years. But I was talking about ZZ Top is the one. And ZZ Top, I think, is around the same time, maybe 1966. But I didn't know that Golden Earring is the same 4 people. And I didn't even know they're still around. So if that's the case, they might be the winner. That was it. Thanks for reading. If you ever feel like slumming on another podcast, okay, I'd love to have you on mine. Oh, okay, this guy has his own podcast too. And okay, so that's that for that. Wow, so Golden Earring. I have to look this up and find out if that's the case, because if it is, then they might be the winner. Because I can't think of anyone other than ZZ Top that have been together that long, same members that are still together. I see. I thought Golden Earring. I didn't even know that they're still playing. Alex, you know that song? Radar Love. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Radar Love. Yeah.
Great song.
It is. It's on the counting for the door. And they got the girls, whoo, radar love, radar love.
Great song.
Great song. Golden Earring is a cool fucking name for a band, too. That's a great name, I think. Golden Earring. I think they were originally Golden Showers, and then And then someone pointed out what that meant. Yo, speaking of which, did you know?
Well, then they went to pearl
Did-
earring, right?
Pearl earring. There you go. Did you know that AC/DC, when they picked that name, they didn't know they picked it because of the current, you know, like on a plug. And then I think it was one of their sisters or cousin, whatever, pointed out that AC/DC meant that you went both ways. That it was kind of, but AC/DC means like bisexual. It's kind of slang for bisexual, or at least at that time. And they didn't know that, and they picked it because of current. So they were like, all like, what? Everyone thought that that's what they were. That's why they picked that name. Wow. Isn't that pretty funny? So, actually, I have no confirmation that any of that is true. So, did you know Led Zeppelin used to work for a circus? Did you know Robert Plant and Roger Daltrey were actually brothers? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, well, because it's not true. There you go. All right, so anyway, there you go. We got some Yo Paulie in there. I was able to get it in. And let me do some plugs before I run out of time here. ThePaulieZShow.com with our brand new, beautiful website. Beautiful.
Leave comments.
And yes, that's a good point. Alex was telling me. Leave comments. We had added a section where you can leave comments. So I would encourage you to please do so. You know, even if it's a criticism, don't leave anything that's nasty. I mean, it's just no point. It's kind of rude. But, you know, if you want to critique it and say, hey, I wish you would talk more about this, whatever you want to do, just put it over there. And you can also get all the episodes on iTunes. For those of you who haven't downloaded them yet, you can get them free there. And if you want to email me, it's yopaulie@thePaulieZShow.com. And any information on our band would be at zo2.com. And my Twitter, if you want to see, you know, I like to tweet, especially when what I want to do more of is like tweet what I'm eating. I think that would be a lot of fun. Like what, just as I'm going. It's just a pain in the ass because then my fingers are greasy and then I gotta wipe them and tweet and whatever. Too lazy. So maybe we'll do that. But anyway, my Twitter is twitter.com/zo2paulie. And I think I got everything. All right. So I'd like to thank again Eric Johnson, the legend, the man, the myth, the man, the guitar player. And I guess I'll see you later.